There, I'm going to teach you how to make a big pot of goulash, vegetable goulash, that I've been putting together for a little while, and I enjoy making up a lot of quantity of this so that I can have it in the refrigerator ready to heat up. I would suggest that when you start cooking a lot at home, it's going to take you a little more time to get your meals prepared because they're not as fast and ready to eat as processed foods or restaurant foods. But that's okay if you plan your week around a day when you can get some cooking done and put these foods in the refrigerator and have them ready to heat up. Life is pretty simple and pretty easy. With the goulash, I'm going to be using an organic variety of rotini. It's just a Italian durum wheat. It's 100% in the ingredients. There's nothing else added to it, so I know that it's safe. And I'm going to boil those according to the directions on the box. I'm also going to add some beans. These are yellow eye peas, and those are really tasty. I think they're really more flavorful than a lot of the other beans, and they're easy for me to digest. So I'm going to use some of those that I had already cooked up in the fridge, and I'm just going to toss in a little bit to kind of intersperse throughout the goulash. I'm going to use my home canned tomatoes. I'm going to use 2 jars. So that would be equivalent to 8 cups of any kind of tomato that you would purchase at the store. You could do a full-fledged sauce, or you could buy whole tomatoes or stewed tomatoes. Just watch your ingredients in that. I like to buy canned tomatoes that say tomatoes in the ingredients and nothing else. Maybe some salt. I'm also going to add about a half a can. This is a 12-ounce can of tomato paste, and in the ingredients it says tomatoes. So I'm going to add that to thicken the sauce a little bit. The vegetables I'm going to start with will be onions, carrot, and celery. And those are going to be simmered in a, not simmered, but sauteed in a pan with some water. I'm not going to add any oil to this. And I'm going to cook them until they're tender crisp. And then I'm going to add to that some green pepper and some sliced mushrooms, some fresh minced garlic, some home frozen green beans that I've thawed and chopped up, and about 1.5 cups to 2 cups of Swiss chard that I've chopped up. And these ingredients are on purpose for the fact that I want to help us fight cancer and to regain health. One of the things that's in many of these ingredients is called luteolin. It is an antioxidant flavonoid found in many vegetables, and the vegetables that it's found in are celery, green pepper, thyme, carrots, peppermint, rosemary, navel oranges, oregano, and dandelion. These antioxidants help to keep cells that are damaged, that could be damaged by oxidation. It helps to protect them, and it also is an anti-inflammatory. So oregano, I have some fresh oregano here that I took out of my garden. Even though it snowed last night, the oregano is still green and happy. So all I decided to do today was get some fresh oregano, even though I have dried, but I'm going to use the fresh since it's still available. You just strip the leaves off of the stem, because the stem is very woody, and you chop them up and add them to your tomato sauce and let them simmer for a bit. Along with the tomato sauce simmering, I'm gonna add some yeast flakes, about 3 tablespoons, a teaspoon of unrefined salt, a teaspoon of ground cumin, a teaspoon of chili powder, and some cayenne. Now my cayenne is really hot. I buy this from Mountain Rose Herbs, and it is super hot. So I'm going to only add about 1/8 to 1/4 teaspoon of this. But if you have cayenne that's a little bit more mild, you can adjust the temperature of your spiciness according to your tastes. I also wanted to talk to you about the frequency of the foods that we eat. You know, we just kind of repeat about 4 or 5 favorite recipes in the week, and it's not a big deal. As long as they're foods that we really enjoy eating, we just repeat them, and it's not a problem. There are no apologies for that because it's good and healthy food. You're lucky if you have, 7 to 10 favorite recipes that you like to use in a period of time. Just keep repeating those and enjoy, and when you can find a new recipe to throw in a little variety, give some new stuff a try. But don't feel bad if you only have 3 or 4 favorite recipes that you enjoy using right at the first opportunity of changing your diet. So just spend that cooking day once a week and make up a big pot of goulash, and it's perfect for these cold winter days. I'm going to go and saute these vegetables and bring them back and show you how I put it together. Well, I got the vegetables all sauteed up. I started again with the carrots, the carrots and onions and celery, and I sauteed that in about a cup and a half of water. And one thing that I did that I didn't mention earlier is that to those vegetables I like to layer my flavors. So I added a little bit of salt, not too much, some garlic and onion powder, and some black pepper. And I've heard black pepper is acidic, but all these other foods are alkalizing, so I'm not worried about that. And liquid aminos, I added a little bit of that just to boost the flavor a bit. And I sauteed my mushrooms and my green peppers separately because my pan's just not big enough for all of these vegetables in one big pan. So, so I did that separately, and of course the garlic was in the carrots and onion celery combination. And then my sauce was simmering off to the side while I was sauteing all those vegetables. And to the sauce I added the greens, the Swiss chard, and I let that kind of simmer in there with all the seasonings, and it didn't take long for it to get nice and bubbly and hot. One of the things I wanted to mention about the sauce is that if your kids don't like to eat green stuff, you could probably take that, whatever green you use. You could use kale or spinach or broccoli greens if they're available to you, and I would take that and put it in a blender with a little bit of the sauce, tomato sauce, and just blend it up and then stir it into your tomato sauce, and you've hidden in some green phytochemicals that will help them have their health and immunity through the winter months without them really knowing that they're there. And then I have my beans here, and I'm just going to sprinkle a few of them into the sauce. It looks like I'm going to add about a cup, and I'm going to stir those in. There's a lot of protein in those beans. That'll be helpful for this meal. The chard also has protein in it, so it needs a little more. I'm going to do another cup and put all those beans in there. There's 2 cups of beans. Of course, you could adjust that. If you don't really like beans, you could just put a few, or you could cook up some lentils and put those in there. They're really hardly noticeable. In fact, they could be blended in along with the tomato sauce if you like. And then I'm going to just stir in all of these good vegetables. There's no steaming and draining, because those good nutrients would be lost in the water that you drain out. So we want to keep that. In fact, I noticed when my vegetables were tender, crisp, and ready to be taken off the burner, the water that I was sauteing them in actually got to a point where it was absorbed into the vegetables, so I knew it was ready to take off the heat, and I stuck a fork in it and it was tender. Alright, this is looking pretty nutritious. Lots of vegetables here. And that's another point I wanted to make. You know, the standard American diet, the main dish is usually meat and or cheese or something like that. And to get the more nutritious value into your diet, you need to make your main dish the vegetable. And that is exactly what we have here, vegetables. And they're going to be tasty and good on these noodles that I have already drained. And I'm going to just pour them together and stir it up. I'll do half of these vegetables first. Give it a toss and then put the rest in. My canned tomatoes have the seeds and the skins in them because when I was getting them ready to process, I just couldn't throw away or strain out those good things. The seeds and the skin, they have stuff in them too that we need to fight disease. So I kept it in there, but you could get whatever kind of tomato sauce that you would enjoy eating. But I would work up to keeping the whole food in there. Get the skin and the seeds involved in your food. Your body can benefit from those things. All right, we have a really tasty goulash here. Now it's time to eat. Here we are, ready to eat some lunch now. And this whole big bowl is going to go in the refrigerator for future meals. Even over the next 7 days, I would have no problem eating this meal again and again. Toward the end of the week, I'll probably just check it by smelling it, making sure it still smells good. And I found that since I don't add any animal fat or animal protein or dairy to my food, that things tend to last longer in the refrigerator. They don't spoil, they don't get that sulfury smell or mold on them because I eat them up and they stay fresh longer. Now, I was also thinking about kids or even husbands who have a serious aversion to vegetables. You could take all of those vegetables and put them in the blender or food processor with the tomato sauce, blend it all up and pour it over the pasta, and they would probably really enjoy it, and they wouldn't have to chew through and taste the individual flavors of the vegetables, but I happen to enjoy that part. I like being able to taste a carrot when I put that in my mouth, or a slice of sauteed onion, or some of the bean. So I'm going to have this with a slice of warm homemade bread, and I hope you can enjoy this too.